The mission of Pedro Zamora's all-too-brief life was to raise awareness about HIV and AIDS. Pedro changed the face of HIV and AIDS in America forever, when for the first time on national TV, Pedro appeared on The Real World, and young America saw a peer living with HIV. Pedro shattered myths. He jolted our country awake from ignorance and inaction. And his message now is as urgent as ever. AIDS infections are on the rise in America. There are more than 1 million Americans living with the HIV virus, and 1 in 5 doesn't even know he or she has it.
Hi, my name is Pedro Zamora. I'm 21 years old. I'm Cuban. I came from Cuba in 1980 during the Noriel boat lift with 125,000 other Cuban refugees. I'm an HIV/AIDS educator. One where I knew that I was gay from a very early age, and I decided at some level that I was never gonna tell her that I was gay so that she didn't have to suffer. I knew she would accept me, but she was very open about everything. But I just didn't want to suffer. I didn't want her to suffer, knowing how everybody was going to treat me because I was gay. So when she got sick and died, I really didn't care much about who found out. She was the only person that I always wanted to protect. And when she died, I just a few months later, I sat down with my father and told him that I was gay. And he reacted really harshly, but very logical, very calm down. He basically stood by me, even though our relationship kind of changed for a while.
And he dealt with it in 2 ways. One is he threw himself into school. Pedro's a brilliant, brilliant student. He was at the top of his class. He was the captain of the cross-country team. He was president of the science club. He was voted most intellectual. He was voted most all-round. The second thing he did was party. Pedro used to go out and have unsafe, promiscuous sex. The affection that he was missing from having his mother around, just simple hugs and kisses, he was seeking it through sex with strangers.
So I went and donated blood, and about a month and a half later, I received a letter from the American Red Cross saying that one of the tests that they had done was positive. It didn't say HIV, it didn't say AIDS. And finally, after 6 months, I went to a private doctor and got tested.
And as I was walking to the car, it hit me. It was almost like 10,000 different emotions, 10,000 different questions popped into my mind. And I just broke down and cried. And the questions were like, am I gonna die? When? How? Am I gonna have enough time to graduate from high school?
People were amazed, they were astonished. Here's this person who can very easily bring you into his life and make you understand something that
Who you are that gives you this disease, it's what you do. I was an honor student. It couldn't happen to me. How condoms are uncomfortable, they're too tight. If a condom is too small, go see a doctor.
Because I'm a gay man and a person living with AIDS, politics is very important to me. I have to be involved. One thing I hate is people who sit back and just let things happen around them and not get involved. I do not understand how people can do that. I have to get involved. I have to do something about what I think is wrong, what I think.
Wrote this incredible article about him on the front page of the Wall Street Journal. And then Pedro came to sort of a national.
Sneaks up on you when you least expect it. I go from months where I don't think much about it, and I'm just, I'm working really hard, and I'm going all over, the country.
This is not a moral issue. This is a health issue, and we have to look at it from that standpoint.
This is the true story.
I'm living with AIDS, and I am a gay man, and I am Hispanic. I'm a person of color, and this is simply who I am. And I'll tell you up front, I'm very open about it. How you deal with it is up to you. This is simply who I am. I don't have to apologize.
It was
to
a
anybody.
very brave decision for him to say, I'm going to go to San Francisco, and I'm going to live with 6 other people that I don't know anything about, that I might not like, and in the process, lose time with the family.
I'm Pedro.
Pardon me?
I'm Pedro.
I'm Corey. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
So I think that it was a very calculated and very courageous decision that Pedro made in deciding to participate in a project of this nature.
I'm Pedro.
Pedro, how you doing?
Nice to meet you. Good to meet you.
And I think that it was a way to reach millions and millions of young people and young
Think
adults.
of my friends or my relationships or even my family. The number one thing that I like is honesty. I like people who are upfront, who are not afraid to say what they feel or who are honest about how they feel. I feel like I could deal with anything as long as it's honest and upfront. What I cannot deal with is lies. That's one of the reasons I could do my job, because I like people to know how I feel, what I'm thinking, who I am, and what I am.
It made it so easy for me to talk about AIDS and to want to ask and want to learn.
For the first time in my life, I was seeing how parallel relationships are, love relationships, whether man or woman or man, or woman, you know, but it allowed me to see that from sitting there and talking to him.
I want to continue doing my work as a peer educator. I have talked to different agencies in San Francisco who are very interested in hiring me to continue to do AIDS education in the schools. So while I'm there, I'll probably be going to the schools and speaking on HIV and AIDS. I also work with different national groups. So I go to Washington, D.C. regularly to do some lobbying with some different issues around HIV and AIDS. So I'll be doing that too.
Before we do an exam, what I'd like to review with you is your lab tests. Your CD4, your total helpers T cells are 32 right now. So that's a drop for you.
San Francisco. He went back to Miami, then he was in LA, and now he's flying back to New York to do CBS This Morning. And I told him, you're nuts, slow down. And he was going to slow down after he did CBS This Morning, and he was going to go to a doctor.
This morning's health segment was sponsored by...
1,000 AIDS cases reported in America, just over...
But the irony of it is, he checked into St. Vincent's Hospital in New York, which is probably one of the best AIDS wards in the country. And it was good, but upsetting. He hit bottom. There was something wrong. He was disoriented. And he didn't leave New York for 3 weeks.
Me having some kind of legions or something like that, you know, in my brain is just really spooky for me. It's really scary. I mean,
Jay, thank you very much for everything, okay?
He had all these ideas and thoughts, and I knew he wanted to say things and pour out his heart, talk about how scared he was, and I could see it in his eyes, but he just couldn't do it.
There was a little window of time where he was able to travel, so we checked him out of the hospital in New York and transferred him to the hospital in Miami.
I can't feel a thing. I can shout, I can scream.
Neurologically, he's getting weaker and weaker, and he's not able to do any of the activities of daily living which you or I would easily be able to do, and which he was doing really only within the last...
It's President Clinton. I just called to tell you I was thinking about you and praying for you.
He might not be able to answer, but he understands everything.
Okay. I just wanted to call him and say hello and tell him how much I appreciated all that he's done on the AIDS Action Council board and everything he's done to speak out about this. I really
every worse since his initial hospitalization. He's now gravely ill. Like many young people, Pedro has no medical insurance, and a trust was formed to aid him in paying for his medical costs.
Hi, Pedro. We're here for your benefit today. Here's Mom. We're all here for you.
I've been thinking about you a lot, man.
There were two essential purposes to the benefit. One was to raise money for Pedro's medical needs. Two, the money was not only supposed to go to Pedro, but the money that goes beyond Pedro's medical needs is going into a foundation that's being formed in his name that's going to help out other young people with AIDS and also start educational programs about AIDS and also give money towards research.
My friend is dying. And Pedro, this is all I could think of to do. What I want to do is turn the clock back. What I want to do is to go back when you were okay. What I want to do is reach inside you and take out what's bad and make it okay again. But I can't do that. All I can do is gather groups of people and teach them what you've taught me and hope they listen. 2 days ago, we founded the Pedro Zamora Foundation officially. And today is the birth of that foundation. So Pedro, let me be the first to congratulate you and tell you that you did it. You accomplished everything you set out to do. Now you can rest.
Pedro Zamora died this morning at 4:40 a.m. He had been hospitalized here at Mercy for exactly 4 weeks. As best I can tell from talking to the family, his passing was without any discomfort. He was not in any pain, suffering at all during his entire hospitalization here. And I think the legacy that Pedro would like to leave will be to not forget those other individuals who are suffering from HIV and AIDS, like Pedro.
We never did. We just loved them more. Pero Dios lo trajo al mundo para que cumpliera una misión. Creo que haya sido así. Y que Dios le dio chance de que él pudiera hacer lo que hizo y que parte de lo que él hizo haya quedado como un legado para la juventud y para todos.
Reminded us that he was living. And he said, you know, until the moment I die, I am living with AIDS.
I've been doing AIDS education across the country, and I remember when I started doing it, how angry I was. And I remember I promised myself never to stop doing it until my last breath. I was going to educate my community. Now I spend more and more time worrying about my doctor appointments. And I wonder now, as I look around me, who's going to pick up my torch?